Coming back from the medicine lake, I felt incredibly present and filled with gratitude for being exactly where I am, inside and out. I was so happy to be in the forest, surrounded by trees and insects, riding on an unpaved road in my super dusty car. The sun setting made everything just a tad more spectacular. I stopped. I couldn't dare drive through this moment. I needed to soak it in fully, to remember every little bit of it. I stopped by a burnt patch of the forest, where the bottoms of the tree trunks were black. I hugged one anyways, and thought that I ought to give more hugs and love to the burnt trees from now on. My tears moistened the ground underneath the tree. I watched the sun rays split through the branches in a rainbow rosette. I got back into my car and began to drive, all alone, in my vehicle on a service road in a forest far, far away. But instead of feeling lonely, I felt togetherness like never before. I felt my future self looking at me, calm and happy, admiring me for making the choices to be here, to do what I love, for following my heart. I felt my own presence looking at me. I completely aligned with it, feeling fully supported by my own self, feeling deeply confident and calm. I have not felt that way before. What a gift. But the universe was not yet done gifting. As I made a turn from the forest road and onto the highway and began to accelerate, I saw a few cars far ahead, all with their emergency lights on, blocking the road. I slowed down, contemplating what could have possibly happened to break down so many cars simultaneously. As I came closer, the picture cleared up on its own. A bright yellow vehicle was overturned, laying on its roof, squished like a pancake on the side of a narrow 2-lane highway surrounded by the forest on both sides. Earth scattered all around. A Walmart truck a few feet behind the overturned car. People standing next to the car, some in shock, many trying to help. A man and a woman kneeling near a no longer existing passenger's window. A human hand, covered in dust, sticking out from under the roof. People said it just happened, a few minutes ago, that the ambulance was on its way, but they didn't know how long it will take them. Meanwhile, a person is stuck inside the overturned vehicle, anchored by a hand, trapped between the road and the frame of the car. The person is upside down, invisible to us but fully conscious. The girl is speaking to him, asking what hurts and if he needs water. A liquid is dripping from the top, now the bottom, front of the vehicle. The truck driver was right behind him and the first one on the scene. He said that he saw a cloud of dust come out of nowhere and hit the brakes, praying that the truck would stop in time. He did. Thank goodness it was returning and the cargo was empty. Otherwise, he said he would not be able to stop. I asked what I can do, knowing perfectly that probably nothing. And then the girl that was kneeling turned to us and said, "We need a tool." I recognized her. Her and her friend were the only other 2 people I saw today on the glass mountain about an hour ago. We crossed paths in this very distant place that not many know about, and now we are here, our paths crossing again. The girl was so brave. She was now laying on the ground, talking to the invisible person trapped inside. A gentleman next to her was placing a jack to lift the car up a bit in hopes of creating enough space for the person inside to release the trapped hand. People were conflicted because of the stories and advice from the 911 operator to not move anything on the scene. But they went for it anyways because it made sense. While the man with the jack lifted the vehicle, the girl guided the person inside to move the hand through this newly formed tiny opening, and he did. A few moments later, he squeezed out the window on the other side of the vehicle and sat down next to it. His piercing baby blue eyes, still in shock but happy. His full body and blonde hair covered in reddish dust. Another bystander hero ran up with a medical kit. He washed up the guy's wounds and began to wrap them. Meanwhile, a lady stood on the road waving down all the oncoming vehicles to stop. A team of strangers working together, saving one precious life. I remember the girls on the glass mountain talking about bees. Now, making tough decisions, being in control, taking charge on behalf of someone who accidentally spun out of control. You never know who might save your life when you need it the most. Most likely, it will be a stranger. So make sure to treat all strangers with love. The paramedics and first responders arrived and took over. As we sat in our vehicles patiently waiting for the first responders to do their heroic work and to clear the road from debris, I felt so much pride in being a human, being a part of this team with huge hearts and strong wills. Alone among many.